Alright guys, Tyler down here at Emerald City Guitars with my pick of the day, which today is this 1967 Vox teardrop guitar. So a lot of the time you'll hear this model referred to as the teardrop guitar or the Brian Jones model. The actual model name is actually the Mark VI. So of course Vox is known for its great amplifiers, its two most famous being the AC-15 and the AC-30, which came out in 1958 and 1959 respectively. Now at this time, Vox did have a couple guitars out, but they were pretty low-end student models, basically straight up Strat ripoffs. So by around 1962, Vox got the idea that they wanted to produce a guitar aimed at professional musicians that they hoped would share the success that their amps had at that point. So they wanted to create a guitar aimed at professional musicians, but they didn't really want to copy Fender anymore. So in 1962, they hired an independent design firm to draw up a design for a new guitar. And that would actually become the Phantom model, which, as some of you may know, was actually sort of a pentagonal, almost coffin shape. Very radical for the time, but it was successful. So a few of these early Phantoms were made in England by JMI, but as pretty soon thereafter, the demand just became too high, and they were forced to outsource the production to Echo, the pretty famous Italian guitar manufacturer. Because of the success that Vox was having with this new Phantom model, they decided to release a new model the following year in 1963, and that was the Mark VI. So as you can see, the Mark VI is pretty similar in design to the Phantom, apart from the body shape being a little bit more streamlined and also having this three-way blade switch rather than a rotary selector. They're pretty much the same guitar. So Brian Jones, the guitarist of the Rolling Stones, was a very early adopter of this new model. It's rumored that he has one of the first prototypes made, which I think is true, and he pretty single-handedly made this model famous, and the association with him still lasts to this day. So as far as the electronics go, we can still see quite a bit of influence from the Stratocaster. Three pretty straight up single coil stagger magnet pickups, just like you'd see in a Strat, three-way blade switch, just like you'd see on a Strat at the time, and then a master volume and two tone controls as well. So these Mark VIs initially came with a sort of mirrored chrome finish on the pickguard as well as the control plate here, but for whatever reason, the last owner decided to strip that off right down to the bare brass. So that's not quite original, but still a pretty cool look. So this is a Klemt Echolette BS40. It's a really cool German-made amp. It's about 40 watts. It has a pair of EL34 power tubes with the original 212 cab, by the way, which is pretty rare. So circuit-wise, this is a pretty straight-up copy of a JTM 45. A little bit cleaner. If you jump the channels, you can get it to break up, but for the most part, it's a relatively clean amp. So as we can see on the front of the amp, the controls are actually labeled in English as well as Deutsch. So if any of you are of the Bavarian persuasion, this might be an easier amp for you to use. But yeah, cool German amp, cool Italian guitar together. Just a really solid European rig in a sea of amazing American-made amps and instruments. So something a little different, but really, really a cool rig. So I'm gonna hand this thing over to our own Ian Crawford so he can give you a really cool sampling of that post-war European tone. All right, guys, so there you have it. Vox Mark 6 through the Klemt Echolette BS40, both down here at Emerald City Guitars. Come on down, take them both for a ride. We'll see you next time.